Hi everybody and welcome to another edition of Flower Friday. Today we're going to be making this flower. It's a fabric flower, and if you watched the haul video that I just put up, I bought this fabric at Goodwill, and it's kind of like a sheer fabric but not like see-through, just sheer. And what I've done is I've just folded it in half and we've sewed it up, and the key to this flower is to use elastic thread. And this is kind of a combination of two different flowers that I've seen on YouTube. Saw Crafters makes a flower that is similar to this, but she doesn't use the elastic thread. But then I believe the name of the other YouTuber is The Toad. She uses elastic thread with her lace flowers, and it really comes out nice and ruffly. So I thought I would combine the two and create this flower here. And I think it turns out really pretty. And these, I'm telling you, these are like probably about 3.5 to 4 inches. And these would look great on headbands or as a flower pin, or put it on a barrette in your hair, or on a big project, something altered as a focal point. Really super pretty and very dimensional. Look at how thick that is. It's probably a good 1.5 inches thick. It's really pretty, and these are really easy to make. So let's go ahead and get started. What you're going to need is some elastic thread. I've already cut the label off of this. It just started to peel, so I pulled it all the way off, so I'm not really sure what brand it is, but I picked it up at Hobby Lobby, and I believe it's in their jewelry making section. And all it is just an elastic. I know you won't be able to see it, but it's just an elastic stretchy thread here, and this is perfect for making ruffles. You're going to need a needle, and you're going to need some kind of fabric. And it's got to be, depending on how big the flower you want is, will determine how long your fabric is. Okay, this is 1 yard and probably about 3 inches wide. And that's because I wanted a bigger flower. If you want a smaller flower, you just use a thinner piece of material. Okay, you just use a thinner piece of material and a shorter piece of material, and then you'll come up with a smaller flower. All right, so let's get started. Let me show you how I did this. This is so easy. So you just need to thread your needle. And you're not going to double up the thread on this. You don't need to. So I've just left a little tail here that I'm going to hold on to as I'm sewing the flower, and it's really easy. And then this is the stretchy part that'll go through the material. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fold your material in half. Now, it's not going to matter what your edges look like at all, okay, because you're not going to see them. You're going to fold them over and you won't even see them. Okay, so all you're going to do is fold your material in half and then start using a gathering stitch. So I'm just going to sew here, and I'm just going to it's just a running stitch, I guess it's called. I'm not really a sewer. So you just do this, and you just pop it down and then up and down and up. And it doesn't matter if you're even with your stitches or not. It doesn't matter at all. So you can go really fast and be really sloppy if you want, because it's not going to matter when you get for the outcome of the flower. You're not going to be able to tell at all. So you just keep sewing this, and this will take a few minutes because my fabric is so long. And all I do is I just pull it through. Once I get some on there, I just pull it through. And you see I've got this little tail left here behind. And since this is like a rubber thread, it's not going to go all the way, your tail here is going to stay where it's at. Just keep an eye on it so you don't go too far. Okay, and then you just keep sewing all the way down. And I'll come back as soon as I'm finished sewing this. Okay, so I've finished sewing this, and see how my cut was just a little uneven there? I'm just going to trim that up so it's even. You don't have to do this, but I just thought it's fine that way. And you can see, if you look at this, how this flower or how this material is already curling up, and that's exactly what you want, because now you're going to be able to shape your flower however you want. So you're going to take the first end, and I'm just going to fold that over, okay? I'm not going to stitch it or anything, but I will put a little glue when we're finished. Okay, so then you're just going to turn your flower and you're just going to get the ruffles exactly how you want them. And it's really simple. You just keep spinning it and it just falls exactly how you want it. It's really easy. Just keep turning until you get the desired effect. Okay, now let's see here. Okay, so here's my flower before I sew it. You know what? Let me just do something right here. I'm just going to pull that a little bit tighter right there so that it folds up on itself. Okay, so now, as you can see, we've got our general flower here. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread my needle back down or on this top thread that's sticking out. This was my tail. Okay, I'm going to take it and I'm going to fold my edge here, right here. I'm going to fold it over and then I'm going to hold it in place and I'm going to sew straight down. Okay, and that I'm just going to pull straight down. This isn't going to, oop, I lost my thread. This isn't going to really secure the flower. It's just going to hold that raw edge down. Okay, so now both of my tails are at the bottom. Okay, I've got both of my little elastic threads at the bottom here. Okay, now I'm just going to make sure that my flower is exactly like I want it. Okay, and I'm going to set that down. Okay, because we're done with that for right now. Now we need to get something to secure the back. So I'm just going to use a circle punch and I'm going to use some white paper and I'm just going to punch that circle out. Okay, and I'm going to set that aside. Now earlier I made a flower center for this particular flower. It looks just like this one. Okay, and all I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to figure out where I want this in my flower so that it's pretty close to the center, covering up all my little raw edges. Okay, so that looks good to me there. So now I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue on there. Okay, and I'm going to be very careful and reposition that where I had it. And I'm just going to just press down a little bit. You don't want the glue to ooze out from the bottom. You just want it to hold it there. Okay, so now we're almost finished. All we have to do is secure the bottom and we'll be all done. Okay, so now I'm going to take my paper circle that I used and I will cut these extra strings off when we're finished. So I'm going to turn my flower upside down and I'm going to make sure that my raw edges on this last one here are folded over so no one will be any the wiser that this isn't completely sewed shut. And then I'm going to take my glue gun. I'm going to put a bunch of glue right there. Okay, and then I'm going to take my paper circle and I'm going to cover up all of my edges and I'm just going to press down lightly. This will be pretty hot. Just keep that in mind. Okay, and now I'm going to cut off my extra pieces of elastic thread because they are no longer needed, and any of these little threads that are sticking out. Okay, and now you have your flower, your fabric flower, and all it is just like a rolled rose. Really poofy, perfect for, and each one is going to look different. See how this one, the center, I pushed down into the middle of the flower? I didn't do that on this one because I wanted a little bit more of a poofy flower, but you can do that. All you need to do is with your elastic thread is to just sew it together so that everything is squished in the middle, and then this, when you put your flower center in, will be down closer to the middle. But I kind of like it like this as well. Okay, so I hope everybody has enjoyed this Flower Friday, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.